TradeMark East Africa was set up in 2010 with the aim of growing prosperity through trade. Through an injection of about $560 million by over 8 donors, TMEA in its initial phase dubbed Strategy 1 has achieved tremendous results, investing in over 170 projects spread across all EAC partner states. TMEA is making a huge difference in reducing high barriers to trade in East Africa. When we started our work in 2010, moving a container from the port of Mombasa, Kenya, a distance of 1,200 kilometers, took about 20 days. This time has reduced by half to around 10 days in just 7 years as a result of TMEA and its partners' efforts in reducing infrastructure barriers, border delays, and corruption. Costs have also fallen by a third. In an era of doubt about the value of money for aid, TMEA stands out as a program that has delivered real impact for real businesses and people. TMEA has made this happen by focusing on addressing bottlenecks and automating trade processes. Key results achieved in outcomes. A 10% increase in total value of exports from the EAC region. TMEA's 2010 to 2016 trade targets of increasing trade by 10% are also broadly on track, achieving $14.6 billion in total value of exports from the EAC region in June 2017 as compared to $12.4 billion in 2016. For example, Rwanda exports to the rest of the world stood at $308 million in 2017 as compared to $238 million in 2010. A 25% increase in intra-regional exports as compared with total exports from East Africa. TMEA's 2010 to 2016 trade targets of increasing inter-regional trade by 25% are also broadly on track, achieving $3.7 billion in inter-regional exports when compared to total exports in the region in June 2017 as compared to $2.4 billion in 2016. For example, Tanzania's inter-regional exports when compared to total exports in the region stood at $1 billion in 2017 as compared to $378 million in 2010. A reduction in average time to transport a container from Mombasa or Dar es Salaam to Burundi or Rwanda. EAC transport times for goods trade have been drastically reduced, for example, from 20 days in 2010 to now 8 to 10 days from Mombasa to Kampala. Recent analysis shows that TMEA has delivered the 15% time reduction impact target. As of June 2017, TMEA's results meter outcome model indicates that more than 16.5% has been achieved, credibly attributed to TMEA's Strategy 1 project with partners. For example, at Mombasa Port, a 51% reduction import time from 11.2 days in 2010 to 5.34 days in 2017 has been recorded, with a 53% reduction in export time to 7.3 days in 2017 from 15.4 days in 2010. A 30% decrease in the average time a truck takes to cross selected borders. As a result of the construction and operationalization of OSPPs, time to cross TMEA-supported borders has reduced by an average of 70%. For example, 90% reduction in time at Mutukula OSBP, Uganda in 2017. Results under Strategic Objective 1: Increased physical access to markets. In 2010, the Mombasa port import time was 11.2 days, which reduced by 51% to 5.5 days in 2017. In the Dar es Salaam port, it reduced 44% from 14 days in 2010 to 9 days in 2016. Once the 5 intra-EAC border posts were operational in Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda, border crossing times reduced by 74% in Taveta, 82% in Holili, 72% in Kagitumba, 86% in Mirama Hills, 67% in Mutukula, Tanzania, and 79% in Mutukula, Uganda, 55% in Busia, Kenya, 74% in Busia, Uganda, 26% in Kobero, Burundi, 59% in Kabanga, Tanzania. 37-kilometer Ntugamo Road in Uganda, linking Kampala to Kigali via Mirama Hills, Kagitumba, and 6.4-kilometer Port Reitz Road in Kenya, linking to new terminals at Mombasa Port, were successfully completed. At the Kenya National Chambers of Commerce and Industry, the average processing time was reduced from 2 days in 2014 to 2 hours in 2016. At the Kenya Tea Directorate, tea export verification and payment time reduced from 5 days in 2014 to 1 hour in 2016. At the Tanzania's Food and Drug Authority, the time and cost for approval of documents reduced from 5.6 days in 2014 to 2 hours in 2016. At the Rwanda Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock and the Rwanda Development Board, the average document processing time for each was reduced from 4 days in 2014 to 2 hours in 2016. At the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, the clearance time for imports and exports trade permit documents reduced from 2 days in 2014 to 2 hours in 2016. Results achieved under Strategic Objective 3: Improved Business Competitiveness. Lobbying for the reduction of the Northern Corridor Transport Levy from $0.30 to $0.12 per ton by Uganda Shippers Council resulted in cost saving of over $1 million per year for exporters. Tanzania Private Sector Foundation and the Freight Logistics Platform successfully lobbied 24-hour, 7-day operations at the Dar es Salaam port. This will reduce time spent at the port, consequently lowering storage costs for imports. 14,108 women traders now have a better chance of increasing incomes through access to markets, as they can now formally trade across borders thanks to the Women and Trade program. Average trade values for women cross-border traders at Taveta, Katuna, and Mutukula increased from $500 in 2015 to $750 in 2016, registering a 50% increment. In TRAC, 1,200 jobs were created, increasing production at farm level for 11,113 farmers and enhancing access to markets for 5,466 farmers whose produce has received international standard certification. LIFT continues to create innovative logistical solutions, reducing the time taken for clearance by enhancing efficiency and reducing clearing and forwarding costs by 5% for 50% of participating users on the Northern Corridor. What Strategy 2 aims to achieve? Strategy 2 offers large-scale transformative impact, building on gains made to date, but recognizing the substantial potential gains that can still be made. This strategy will contribute an impact of $0.6 billion of additional trade in East Africa. This will in turn contribute to sustainable, inclusive prosperity by adding $4.7 billion to the region's GDP, creating and sustaining more than 700,000 additional jobs, lifting more than 1.8 million people out of poverty, generating an additional $1.1 billion of tax revenue, and creating over $0.64 billion of additional economic welfare gains for the region.